Hello and welcome back to another episode of Silvera Sessions. If you didn't know, my name is DJ Silvera. Here at Silvera Sessions, we talk about everything between DJing, the nightlife, the culture, music, and everything else in between. And I give you some advice on everything that I've learned being a DJ here in Toronto. Today, we're going to get into a little bit of a juicy topic. I asked everyone their opinion on who should be the one bringing people into the club. I think this is such an important question because we have three key players when it comes to events. We have the DJ, we have the promoter, and then we have the host. So drop a comment down below and comment who you think is the most important person when it comes to throwing together a proper sold out event. I want to hear your thoughts. So like, share, comment, subscribe, share this with someone, see their thoughts, and let's get into it right now. I also did want to comment on the fact that I just baked a banana bread and it smells delicious. So comment banana bread if you've made it this far, and I'll know what you're talking about. I am a multi-talented queen who can make banana bread and DJ. Boom. Like I said, there are three main people that come together to put on an event, and making it a sold out event is what brings an event to the next level, obviously. So these three people are the DJ, the promoter, and the host. These three people obviously are the ones that put together the event, bring the vibes with the music, and bring in the people. So which one is the one that brings in the most people, or is required to bring in people, or even needs to actually bring in any people? Like, who is the most responsible? Okay, so first I want to touch on DJs. I myself am a DJ, and as a DJ, we want to bring the vibes, the good music, and we want to keep the people engaged. We want to keep the crowd there at the party. That is one of our biggest responsibilities. Once people are in the party, we want to keep them there. We always want people dancing, vibing. We don't want people to leave the party because that's when the parties get dead, and then people don't want to come back if the music isn't good. So that's basically, I would say, our key responsibility as a DJ. With our name being on the flyer or a poster, our faces being presented as the party, we definitely want to promote as we can to our following, especially if you do have a big following. I feel like the least we can do as a DJ is to put the poster on your Instagram, your social medias, put it on your stories, share it with people. I think that it's important because if you have it on your social media pages, the people that do follow you would want to come out and support you as well. Having a good support system and fans that actually engage with you and your content and your music, I think that's a very powerful thing, because then you could just build your name for yourself, set aside from the events that you go to. People will actually respect you as a DJ and want to come out to any of your events when they see your name on a flyer. That doesn't mean you're responsible for bringing those people in, but it does help bringing in people to a party. No DJ really wants to play at a party that is dead. So if you do your part as a DJ to promote yourself and that party, you're definitely going to be able to bring in a few more people. Even if it's one extra person, even if it's your plus one, your friend, you're definitely bringing people into the party, whether you actually know it or not. There are also times where people who are DJs, especially in the city, you might be DJing on the West End or the East End, and you don't have people, depending on where you live. If you live in the West End and you're DJing on the East End, you might not have the same amount of people in the West End because you don't live out there. So having people come out to your parties might be a little bit more of a task. And vice versa. If you live in the West End and you're playing in the East End, it might be hard to bring people out to the party because that's a far drive sometimes, and Toronto traffic is freaking crazy. So I wouldn't put the blame on a DJ if they're not bringing out 10, 20, 100 people to a party, because it's definitely not their responsibility. You're booking them to be on the party. So I wouldn't solely put that responsibility on a DJ to bring in people. I've heard personally from people, they try and book these DJs to be on a party and they're like, oh, they didn't bring anyone to the party. I don't think it's solely up to a DJ to bring people in the party. If they do their part promoting, I respect that, because you're actually showing effort and interest that you want to be on that party, be engaged with your audience for that select event. If you're doing your part on your end as a DJ by promoting it and putting the flyer out there, I feel like you have checked off all the boxes. And if you're a good DJ as well, there's nothing that you could do on your end. Because I've definitely been to events where there are not that many people there that turn out, and I wouldn't say it was on any of the DJs to be making that event successful, you know? Next, we're going to deep dive into the host. I'm going to save the promoter for last. These people are very important for parties because as a host, you are the ones that are bringing in your friends, you're shouting out the party, you're trying to bring in people, you're looking for people, you're adding people to the guest list, you have a certain amount of people on the guest list, and you're making group chats and you're reaching out to people. These people are very important for bringing in the crowd because people see who's hosting the event, and if they have a following and people are interested in them, they're definitely going to come out to these events. Being a host, they're going to shout out these events on their pages as well, and they're going to definitely draw in a crowd because that's their job. As a host, if they are DMing, making group chats, inviting people to be on their guest list, it gives people that VIP experience where they feel special and lucky that they're getting into the club for free, or they're getting into the club at a reduced price. It makes people feel a little bit exclusive. So these people are very important for a party, and having the right hosts on your party is very crucial as well. But we want to know, are they the main attraction at a party, or are they just kind of like the glue that holds everyone together? Drop a comment and tell me your thoughts. Are they attraction, or are they the glue that solidifies everything? Me personally, I've never had any hosts on parties that I've thrown, so I'm not too familiar with how exactly the turnout is for having a host on your party, but I've been to parties where there are hosts, and it seems very interesting. It seems like a very interesting technique to use within an event because, like I said, they do bring out their people, they do get a guest list, so they get those people coming out, and it creates additional hype for your party. And last but not least, we have the promoter. So the promoter most times is the person that is throwing the event. The promoter is the one that's doing ticket sales, they're securing the venue, they're hiring the DJs, the artists, the whole shebang. That is on them. They're hiring the people. They're booking the venue. They're creating the event. They're creating the space for all of the other people to come in and collaborate on. They are usually the first point of contact for all of these parties. If people are interested about the party, they're going to message, DM the promoter because they see, oh, this promoter is holding this party. Let me talk to them. At the end of the day, they are collaborating with the DJ and the hosts of the party that they hire. But at the end of the day, the turnout is heavily relying on them, because if you don't have a good party, you don't have a good venue, you don't have good DJ selection, then your party as a promoter isn't going to turn out that well. A good promoter knows how to build up anticipation before an event even drops. So if it's months ahead of time, a month ahead of time, 6 months ahead of time, a promoter genuinely knows how to put together a proper package, a proper flyer, proper promo, proper marketing to ensure that people are interested and intrigued even before tickets drop. Before tickets even drop, people want to be like, oh, I want to save the date so I can get these tickets, the early bird prices. A good promoter knows how to do that. But I find sometimes the promoters rely too much on the DJs to get the DJs to come out and bring people to these parties. I myself, even when I host events, the first event I ever threw, I made the mistake of trying to see if the DJs that I hired for the party would be more engaging and more promoting and try to at least bring people to the party. I think I did ask the DJs, and this is my fault. I take full responsibility for this. I asked the DJs if they could try and bring 5 to 10 people to the party. I would love that. I think I was just very anxious that my party wouldn't turn out well because it was my first party ever. I was only DJing for not even 6 months, and I was throwing a party, a big party at that I wanted to host, Ride the Rhythm. And I was nervous that the ticket sales weren't going to do good and no one was going to come, and I was going to waste all this money on booking DJs, a venue, all of this, and it wasn't going to turn out. So I was really trying to push the DJs to help promote and put it out there, and it ended up doing good, but the DJs at the end of the day weren't responsible for bringing the people, and they didn't really bring people, which is totally understandable because that's not their job. At the end of the day, they're helping if they promote, but I don't believe that they need to be responsible for bringing people in. They do bring people in if it's a big, well-known DJ or people, like I said, from the East or the West End or downtown know that specific DJ and they're out for the night. They're going to come to that party to see that DJ if they really like them. So it does help having proper, good DJs and reputable DJs on your lineup. Now that we broke down the 3 pillars of who's involved in events, which is the DJ, the host, and the promoter, who really is actually in charge of bringing in these people? So we have the promoter, who sets the foundation of the overall night. Without good promotion by the promoter, there won't be a good event. And then we have the DJ. The DJ brings the vibe. So if there's no good music selection, no good DJs, people are going to leave. If we have good DJs, people are going to stay at the party, which is what we want. So we want people to stay and we want people to come back if you're doing a party series or whatnot. And then we have the host. They keep the energy there. They build the crowd's excitement and they bring in people. They bring in people on their guest list. They bring in their friends. They bring in just people that they know in the city and they help promote as well. If people don't show up to a party, most of the time they're going to be blaming the promoter. If people leave the party, they're going to blame the DJ. And then if the energy wasn't the greatest at all-time high, most of the times that's going to be on the host of the party. If you really think about it, altogether, everyone plays a crucial part in having a great event. We have the DJs who bring the vibes. We have the hosts that help bring the people and help create the hype for the event. And then we have the promoter who does all the back end management of the event, booking the venue, booking the DJs, creating the type of event that it's going to be, ticket sales, and overall promotion of the event. They all play together as a team because at the end of the day, if you take one of these people out of the equation, you're not going to have as good of an event. If you didn't have DJs on your party and you just plugged in an aux cord, your event's not going to be as good because people thoroughly enjoy live music rather than auxiliary cord music. They want to actually hear someone create a vibe and an atmosphere, and people like the idea that they'll be able to request songs. I've seen like from when I asked people this question, I see some people say that it's on the DJ, and I want to put like a scenario into the mix for this. So, and I know this has happened before to people where, say, Vibes Cartel is coming to Toronto and we have him coming out, and then you have the promoter. Say I'm the promoter for this Vibes Cartel concert. Imagine, that'd be crazy. Vibes Cartel, if you're listening to this, I would love to be the promoter for this event, and I think I could pull it off, genuinely, because event management, I got that. Okay? Anyways, so say I'm the promoter for the Vibes Cartel concert, and Vibes Cartel is the artist or DJ. So he's coming, and on my end as the promoter, I'm not promoting on my social media pages, on my Instagram, TikTok. I'm not shouting out the event. There's no flyers posted around the city. On the other end, we have Vibes Cartel who is coming. So say we have it at the Rogers Centre, which is a huge venue here in Toronto, and we're trying to make it a sold out event. If I'm just relying on Vibes Cartel to bring us people, promote this party, it's not going to be a sold out event. We're going to have to work together as a team where, yeah, Vibes Cartel is shouting it out, but it's not genuinely up to him to be doing that because I'm paying him to perform at this concert. So it's up to me so that I can make my money back as a promoter for paying him. I want to make my money back. So I need to do everything that I can to shout him out, shout out that I'm throwing a concert and Vibes Cartel is going to be there. So everyone should come out, check it out. It's going to be on this day, this time. Ticket sales are going to happen this day, this time. That's not up to Vibes Cartel to do. He shouldn't be posting that ticket sales are today on Ticket Gateway or Ticketmaster or wherever it is. It wouldn't be up to him to do that. It would be solely up to the promoter to be like, hey, tickets are happening this day, concerts this day, yada, 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 you know? So that's like a small little example of what some people expect. They expect the DJ to be just putting out all their effort to be promoting an event, when most of the time DJs are playing at parties all weekend, Friday, Saturday, even Sunday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday. DJs are out playing, so they can't be promoting every single event super heavy that they're playing on, because it kind of takes away from the events that they're playing at, and that's a lot of effort if they're playing 3 times a week every single week. But if a promoter's hosting a party once a year, twice a year, 3 times a year, or however often, that should be up to them to be really heavily pushing their events, because they're the ones trying to make the money back, and they're the ones trying to build their reputation for having these parties. So I think that's very crucial for the promoter to be heavily more responsible than any other person in this equation. And one other key factor that someone mentioned in my comments, and I appreciate them for mentioning this, is the venue. Venue is very important. If you don't have a good venue, or if it's a venue that's in the middle of nowhere, or people aren't sure where it is, it's hard to get to, that can play a factor in how many people come out to your party. So as a promoter, you want to make sure that you're picking a venue that is easily accessible, even free parking. People love the idea of free parking. If you can find a venue that has free parking, or parking at least in the area, that is a very crucial thing, because me as a driver, I would love to drive. Or even, I know people Uber. Ubering is safer if you're out for a drink. Please don't drink and drive. Make sure you Uber or taxi or transit, subway home, please. But making sure that your venue is easily accessible and that it's big enough to fit the amount of people that you're trying to host the party for. It's not too big where, say, it holds a capacity of 500 people, but you only have 100 people there. It makes it look empty, you know? So you want to get a venue that will fit the crowd size that you're intending to have. If you're having 100 people, maybe get a space that can fit 150 people, you know, so that it makes it look more packed, that it's a sold out event. I want to hear from everyone else. So I want to hear what your thoughts are. Do you think it should be up to the promoter, the host, or the DJ to be bringing in these people to these events to make it a sold out event? DM me, reach out to me, email me. I really want to hear everyone's thoughts. Drop a comment, like, share, and subscribe. I want to hear everyone's thoughts, and then we can even talk about it further in other videos. I would love to hear any other questions that anyone has that I can answer. I would love to build on any topics. And if you're a DJ, a promoter, or a host, drop a comment below and share any stories that you have. I would love to hear your craziest stories, and we could definitely break them down and talk more about them. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Silvera Sessions, where we broke down a little bit of juicy content for you today. So I will see you all on the next episode of Silvera Sessions, and stay tuned for more fun content. Bye.